I appreciate it.
That makes
I
one of
know that's
us.
difficult.
Like a Mark Twain sentence.
Yeah. Uh, just demanding you like take on the style of like Ernest Hemingway. Just concise things.
I mean, it really gets the motivation out there.
Yeah.
Haven't really come up with a lot of backstory for this character. I just made something quick and easy.
Yeah.
But I went for a different class than I always pick just to mix things up.
Well, that's always
Or
fun.
different race, rather. But class was, I don't know. I didn't want to do anything spells too complicated.
Yeah.
I love complicated things. They're my favorite.
Sometimes I'm into it.
I like making 10 things of furniture suddenly become alive and start killing everybody. Mark how many trees are on the battlefield.
As many as you need, baby. Fantastic. All right. So we have your two characters. Remind me of your names.
Scabs Mason.
Hold on, I need a
Gab
minute.
Mason, the
Scabs, like
dwarven.
scabs.
Yeah. The dwarven thief or dwarven rogue.
That's right. Assassin.
Rogue assassin. Nice.
Ooh, assassin.
And Joel.
Zed,
Oh yeah,
the
Zed,
the fighter,
the Goliath
the Goliath
fighter,
fighter,
Eldritch Knight fighter.
the Eldritch Knight fighter. We keep adding.
Did you go with the blind thing?
Oh hell yeah, for
Nice.
shits and giggles. I've been wanting to make a blind character for a really long time, and I was like, all right, I can do it for one shot.
All of my arrows have little whistle tips on them.
Nice.
Watch, there's gonna be need for stealth this whole time.
Whistle
I
tips
totally
go
was
woo
playing
woo.
a D&D Great British Bake Off, so I hope you got proficiency in cooking.
I did actually. No, I didn't.
Good.
Shit, I picked up cobbler and masonry. I also have a disguise and a poisoner's kit, and I gave myself one poison potion.
I love it.
I always forget that stuff. I didn't get any of it.
So, we will begin our game. So,
All I need is love.
and weed. All right. I'm gonna first take Zed into the secrets chamber. We shall return.
Oh
No.
no!
Why, hello.
You can't kill me this early.
You're already dead.
Damn it!
um, so Zed, the retired city watchman, guardian of the good people of the world. Still looking for a little adventure in your retirement, eh?
Yes, indeed.
You've made a little bit of a name for yourself. Have gained a few contacts with the rich and powerful over your years of doing some investigations, solving crimes, returning stolen property to the wealthy. Always the most important job of any enforcement of law.
You
Um,
know, keeping those rich people happy.
um, you've been offered a job. This is a challenging world that you find yourself in, and great things are afoot. Mortal kind is no longer reeling from the collapse and uh, disappearance of the gods, and instead has taken their destiny into their own hands. The great sorcerer lords now lead a brave new power in the world. That is the power of mortal kind, taking on the old remaining tools that the gods left behind, learning to shape the world to their will, and notably having recently, well, it's coming up on the anniversary of just 100 years ago, when the last primal horror was sealed away. And on this anniversary, there is a lot of excitement and really just it's like a week-long holiday celebrating um, the binding of the crawling darkness and the new age of freedom and self-determination for people kind. On that holiday, people gonna celebrate.
Yeah, it's that we're in that week, or that's today
It's coming up, yeah. Like
coming up.
when you were received this mission, you knew that that holiday was coming up.
Okay.
Your mission given to you by a a middleman who typically has given you jobs that were interesting and fit your moral compass. Um, and you seem to have had, grown a decent rapport with this guy as just kind of your fixer. Um, what kind of jobs have you done?
Uh, oh man, found some lost people. Um, you know, people just needing help with some local gangage that the city watch is no longer caring about.
Hmm.
A couple guard duty jobs where I'm just like being the muscle,
Hmm.
keeping somebody safe. Some of those rich friends of mine like me hanging around because I'm big.
Yeah. Um, this time, you have a job where you're mostly just going to be once again just hired muscle. Your your fixer, um, uh, a fella named Ganger Rhapsody.
Old gang gang.
He says, taking a long draw from his herb smoking implement, says, "Got a really easy job for you. More of the same. Need you to look imposing. Do your best to scare off any would-be troublemakers. I've found out though, or well, the problem though, Zed, is not really sure the person hiring you for this isn't sure exactly who has what you're supposed to be protecting.
Well,
They
first
got
off, there's no
you.
such thing as an easy job, but how can they not know?
Well, they found out that something of great value is going to be transported aboard a vessel, that I have first class tickets for you. Well, a ticket. And I want you to board this vessel. I want you to pretend to be just any other passenger, but do a little sniffing around. Find who has the package and make sure that nothing happens to it. The interested party in this case is, well, someone very powerful with a vested interest in keeping the peace. I think I think you're going to be on the right side of this one, even if it's a little mysterious at the moment.
A little mysterious.
Yeah.
And how am I supposed to know what the package is?
Well, it's something like this, I'll tell you. There are you the package that is going to be aboard this vessel will not ever be let out of the sight of its carrier. Look for someone who is standing out by always carrying around a case of some kind, a container. They're going to be undercover themselves as well, but expect someone who knows how to handle themselves. I know you have a sense for these things.
You know me. Uh, and does anybody happen to know what's in the package? I want to make sure I'm not gonna explode.
Oh,
I had a long career and I don't mean to die in retirement.
well, they say it's a key, very important key, and well, rumor has it has something to do with the anniversary that's approaching.
Ugh, friggin' holiday. Every
Yeah.
year gets way out of hand. Too much work.
Yeah. And, everybody just seems to have forgotten the meaning of that holiday. I'm a bit older than you, and I remember back in my day, we took it seriously. But now it's an excuse for partying, spending money, not to mention those assholes that go near the Ever Fountain, just diving as close as they can, gaining the attention of the Sky Wardens. Bunch of damn fools.
You don't have to tell me about it. I've arrested my fair share of assholes.
Well,
What's the cut? I mean, I don't mean to talk too much business. And where am I going? There's so many questions. You know, I try not to ask too
he
many.
hands you a little folder that includes a couple documents that kind of like summarize the information known for this task, as well as the expectation of your employer or the person who's hired you for this,
You know,
which
you could
is
have
that
started with this.
well, this is for your keeping. You know me. I like to do things the old-fashioned way. Feel the weight of the words and sharing that experience. It's important in our business, especially. Can't. Well, anyway. He passes this off, and it tells you that the key that is being transported aboard the vessel, the Infinite Dawn, needs to reach its destination, and that is the holy city of Loomis.
Shit. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll make sure it gets there. Loomis, you said? Yeah.
That's right, Loomis. Well, now that
Ganger,
so much of the
I thought you'd
old
send me
man's
somewhere
death.
more tropical.
Well, at least you'll be starting somewhere tropical. Get a little breath of fresh air before you board the vessel.
You gonna send me off to the mall after this?
The
I hear
maw?
that good old pirate lord's out there hanging out.
The hell's the Maw?
You don't know about the mall? Yeah, great. Loomis, going. Fabulous. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, decide whatever flight of fancy that was. Um, I've got a teleportation for you. That'll take you to the embarkation for the Infinite Dawn.
Which is?
He says, teleportation. The Infinite Dawn will be taken off in the morning. We'll be departing the docks in the morning out of the city of Skofia Scar.
Oh, we are somewhere tropical. All right. I was gonna say, why not send me to Scopia?
Well, yeah, take advantage. You can take the teleportation tonight if you want to have an evening in Skofia Scar before you depart. Infinite Dawn should be leaving no later than 9 in the morning, but you know how nobility can be. If anybody rich and powerful enough is running late, well, we'll see.
Well, send me in the morning. I got some things to take care of tonight.
Well, all right then. You find out who's got this key. Make yourself known or not. I'll leave that up to your discretion. But ensure that the key makes it to the end of the voyage. There's been, well, your employer has reason to believe that it's at risk, and that those who might want to use it to unlock something, not knowing really what the key is for, I can't say anything more specific, but it shouldn't fall into the wrong hands. Leave it at that.
Uh, I'll make sure it's done. You know me. I'm good at the job.
That's why I like you, Zed. No bullshit, and you get the job done.
Well, see you in the morning, or
Well,
whoever's sending me.
he gives you a what looks like a bronze token with a like hexagon like cut out of the center, and you know that this is like a teleportation token.
Yeah,
Can be used. It'll buy you access to a teleportation circle in the town you're in.
perfect. Thank you. Uh,
um,
oh, and once it gets to Lumos, am I done? Like,
that's it. Find your way back here by whatever means you like. I'll reimburse you for any travel expenses on the return. Um, Teleportation seems possible. No, the city of Loomis is still just, opening itself up to the greater world. But I
perfect.
believe they should have at least some basic utilities like a transportation circle.
All right.
But if
I'll
not,
see you when I'm back.
enjoy another couple week long voyage aboard the airship. I'm sure you can catch a return journey, and enjoy. I'll pay you for that time as well. But get the job done. 5,000 gold is yours,
Oof.
plus any expenses you incur along the way.
Well then, yes indeedy.
All right then. See that it's done.
Oh, it'll get done.
Fantastic. You head off. Take care of any business you have in the city that you find yourself in, teeming with excitement and a nightlife, much to keep you occupied if you choose it in the night before you leave.
I gotta take my granddaughter off to the babysitter to let her know I'm gonna be gone for a while.
Nice.
I got people to take care of.
Absolutely.
Make her read this dossier to me before I go, so I actually know what's going on.
Is your babysitter somebody you know, or is it like a service that you've hired or employed?
Uh, someone I know, longtime friends.
Cool. All right. So you will begin with you aboard the Infinite Dawn.
Sounds good.
All right. Goodbye. So, Scabs, you find yourself in the city of Scofiascar, a port city and a great metropolis. One of the new cities and centers of civilization that have sprung up and begun to thrive since the undead have been beaten back and virtually erased from the world. And not only that, Scofiascar is abuzz with activity as a holiday is fast approaching. A week-long celebration remembering now the 100th anniversary of the binding of the last great evil. And people are gathering here in this great port town or city to celebrate at this holiday's most holy site. Even as 100 years have passed and the importance placed on the true meaning of the holiday has certainly slipped and people take it much less seriously, much more now just excuse to celebrate, act like idiots, drink too much, eat too much, and, have a break from work. From the highest to the lowest class, from the great sorcerer lords to the slaves themselves, everybody has at least a reprieve from their work, from the demands of life. But your focus is not on the upcoming celebration as you sit across from Vice Geringer. She's one of the bosses in the Thieves Guild, the one who's briefing you on your upcoming task. Takes a deep inhalation of his frost weed cigarette. And
Nice.
he and he says, "Hmm, we've got a soft glove job for you this time, Scab. More than just a blade in the dark is needed for this one. I've got you, well, not so much a ticket as a job aboard a vessel departing in the morning. And you're going to be aboard the Infinite Dawn. It's a heading a week-long trip, which you should enjoy. A languorous journey that was meant mostly for the wealthy to enjoy their leisure. But this ship is going to be carrying something, or rather some things, special interest to us. He says, the powers that be are transporting something of great power and importance aboard this ship. They had even planned to have, well, they're actually planning to move two items. What our intelligence has brought us is merely that one is a lock and the other a key. They had planned on moving them separately for safekeeping, with fake doubles of each, but with a little sleight of hand, a little magic, a few coins in the right purses, and a slit throat or two, we've managed to keep or put both of the items of value aboard the same ship at the same time. Those carrying these items won't even know, so undercover as they are, that they're both aboard. They'll think they're carrying the true item, and that the other item, the lock or the key, is aboard some other vessel. But you will know that they're both aboard the Infinite Dawn. We also know that these items are not fated to make it to the end of their journey. Someone is going to try and take them. Now, these relics are said to be of vast importance to the ongoing success of mortal kind in its efforts to take on the mantle of responsibility for our destiny since the gods left all those years ago. And so many think that we're doing it. The sorcerer lords, the great powers that be, having taken up the machines of gods and trying to make them work again under our commands. Who knows what ruin we will find, we will bring upon ourselves one day, he says, kind of just like wistfully. But for the moment, none of that truly concerns us. There is an opportunity brewing here. When whoever wants these items, the lock and the key, whenever they strike, I want you to be the one who ends up in control of the items. The ransom we can demand for their safe return, well, that will see you, me, and really all of us wealthier than you can possibly imagine. As is the custom, 50% of the stake is yours. And what is 50% of near infinite wealth? Something to retire on, or to fund any other endeavors you might have, Scab.
But well, I've never been good at math, so I guess half of infinite is still infinite. I don't know.
That's right, my boy. More money than you can possibly dream of will be yours.
Well, I'll take the task.
It's a good lad. Like I said, these carriers are undercover. They won't be presenting as security, but you can rest assured that they will not let their relics, the key and the lock, out of their sight. Keep an eye out for people aboard the vessel who always seem to be carrying something with them. This is a leisure craft after all. Anybody dragging around luggage is going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Do we know anything else about him? Is it male, female? Do you
The
know what race they are?
operatives, no, the operatives that will be carrying it have not been decided upon, part of the security measures, so we can't find out who it will be. Otherwise, we might have had you just kill them and replace them and take their place. So it'll be up to you to identify them.
Are they large, the lock and key, or is it something small?
We know at least that the containers for these items, well, some extra dimensional magic involved, something that keeps them secure. But that thing, that the contraption that's holding them is not tiny, will be certainly be something that is noticeable. We expect it will be disguised as a piece of luggage, a briefcase, or some satchel or case of or some kind. The objects themselves, the lock and key, we know not what size they are. You know, people of great power have been known to encase entire cities and castles in a pocket dimension.
Well, I work alone. I hope to God you're not putting me with someone this time.
You'll be the only of our agents aboard the vessel.
That's what I like to hear.
Like I said, we don't want it to be obvious that we are in play here. We want some reasonable deniability when we offer them the trade, or demand rather the ransom for the lock and the key. So if you can avoid it, don't make yourself too obviously known or our intentions here open.
So I'm not here to kill anyone. Just take the lock and key.
I think if our intelligence is right, some cult or another is after it, and they'll be spilling enough blood. I'm sure there'll be opportunities for you as well, but that's not your primary concern.
But I'll keep an eye out. When do I leave?
In the morning,
Excellent. I'll prepare.
he hands you, he says, you'll be needing this, and he hands you a package which contains a uniform of a member of the serving staff aboard the Infinite Dawn. You will be posing at least as you get aboard the vessel as a employee.
Prefer more stealthy, but if I have to do this, I guess.
It's an easy way to get aboard a sure bet, but if you prefer an alternate approach, I'll trust your instincts.
I mean, am I supposed to meet with someone, or am I just working? Can I just remove this once I get on board?
Of course, if you get aboard and are able to acquire more appropriate, or if you bring more appropriate dress, and then masquerade as a member of the leisure crew, the guests on the ship, well, that's up to you.
Well, I think I'll be needing a front then, because I'm gonna have to go get the suit.
Of course. He hands you 500 gold.
Cool.
So we will begin with you probably aboard the vessel.
Yeah, in that time I will have gotten, a nice suit that would, help fit in with the fancier folk.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good. All right, we'll go back to the general chat then. All right, so to the game. You guys both find yourselves in the mornings, either waking up or quickly being teleported to the city of Scofiascar on the southern coast of the continent. You are traveling through and just taking in the wild sights of the city amid this the build up to this festival, which indeed begins today. Um, you guys can both give me a history or religion check. You can roll it with advantage if you have proficiency in both.
But what
17
about if you
religion.
have proficiency in none of them?
You can still make a roll.
Ooh. Well then,
17.
Correct.
I rolled a 7.
I'll probably go history since he's not a particularly religious type.
Mm-hmm. A lot more chewing involved than I expected. One moment.
The suspense is killing me.
So excited.
Yeah, you never went in for the sort of like religious mumbo jumbo around the history of this festival. still, ultimately a relatively new one. And with that, like some amount of novelty with this holiday. Um, it's uh, often just referred to as the binding, but its official name is the final binding of the last darkness. Um, uh, and it you know that it's a new holiday, and it's interesting because it's the first kind of like um, non non-religious holiday that's like pretty like celebrated all around, like pretty much everywhere, because it celebrates a relatively recent event, that binding of this, what the stories say was this horrific monster, this prime evil entity that escaped or hid during the times when the gods were battling it out and trying to either dominate or protect or see their will done upon the world in their last days before they departed. This evil thing, this crawling darkness, hid and came out long after the gods were gone, and it expected mortal kind to be vulnerable then without their protectors. The binding celebrates the ingenuity of mortal kind in overcoming what even the gods struggled against and could not defeat. One of the messes they left behind has been cleaned up by sentient mortality, by the children of the gods. And many think of this celebration just to be like, yeah, this is the time. This is the age of mortal kind. Our ascendants. We're, you know, we're capable of doing things even the gods couldn't. And the last of those like ancient powers has been sealed away. Very exciting time. The binding is, of course, celebrated most fervently here in Skofjaskar. The city, one part of it, wrapped in this great inlet in the jungle, this mountainous forested jungle area, and the rest of the city, a great network of canals, a city built atop the water, glittering like diamonds on the sea. And at its center, the source, at the city's center, the center also of these celebrations. A great relic is there, construction of powerful sorcerer kings now dead, many having died in the great struggle against the crawling darkness. Heroes of mankind and elven kind and all the other kinds. And here, in the center of Skofjaskar, a monument to what mankind and mortals are able to make. A great fountain, dwarfing much of the city around it, even as the city expands for miles around this with great towering structures, all floating seemingly precariously atop the waves or the slowly winding water. But this fountain, a complex design, circulating water through it, and not just water, but the very ever flowing essence of magic itself. And above it, hanging impossibly close to the world, the ruddy reddish moon, the final prison of the darkness, held in place by the fountain, held in place by the tidal forces of the world and the waves, the magic that binds it and holds this moon in place, secure, a place where the crawling darkness is kept. When the time is right, the stories say, it will be thrust back away from the world out into the outer darkness forever. But for now, it remains more a trophy than anything, a monument, the moon itself with the evil it contains, the fountain here in the city of Scofiascar that holds that moon in place, tidally locked far above the earth. The magic involved in this, extraordinary, breathtaking. The achievement of those powerful mortals that came before you. And now you all get to live in peace. But the excitement of all this bubbles up in the city. And Scabs, you think on all this history and like I think, are wondering like lock and key, big ol' like potential like magic thing that you're supposed to, you've been tipped off about. What are the odds that it's related to this festival? And like, there's some huge, big magic going on with all this, especially, like annually they do kind of reinvigorate the magic that holds the moon in place, holds the prison in place. Maybe all this is related to that. But you don't know. You've never studied the divine magics and rituals, or you've never looked into that sort of thing that's involved in this, this captured moon. Zed, party's going wild.
I can hear it from a mile away. It's so loud here.
Uh, you are not amazed by the wild colors on display among the festival goers, the outlandish outfits they're wearing, and all this as you navigate the crowds expertly despite your inability to see.
I keep my stick out to the sides, like just giving me a little bit of a wide berth. Just keeping it wide enough, twirling it a lot slightly, just to make sure I don't run into anybody.
Yeah. So, you navigate the crowds of Scofiascar. The festival goers are not as thick on the ground here out by the port, where the Infinite Dawn awaits embarkation. Um, Out here, it's there's more just business people who actually have a reason to be here, are here, still just working or going about. You pass, you imagine or what you expect are and are passed by like various other travelers moving in the same direction. You hear some like carriages and palanquins and things like carrying the wealthy uh, passengers you expect headed for the Infinite Dawn. Um, you find your way uh, away farther and farther from the city center out towards where the canals of the city end and or terminate at a port at like actual open water. And out here, this immense vessel that you can't see, but you can hear various like bells and some horns sounding off as this great vessel prepares to embark upon the ocean. and its journey.
Since I'm
Uh,
getting closer to work, and I know I am, I put the stick away, I get all big, and I put on my tough guy face, and I walk real slow. Because I know that I can only sense what's real close.
yeah. Walking with a confident, slow swagger that kind of belies the your inability to like sense things beyond 10 feet away from you outside just hearing. But you just like try and navigate the space with a slow sort of confidence, intentional confidence. Why don't you give me a performance check?
Lovely. It is gonna be 10.
10. Um, uh, Evan, let me update your name on here to Scabs so I keep remembering without having to think.
But are you in Albert already?
Scabs. No, I'm talking about in Discord.
Oh, gotcha.
There you go. So now you're Scabs. Um, Scabs Mason. You are among the crew that are welcoming the embarking guests. Can I say that you are in your fake uniform, or are you
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a? Okay, yeah. You've apparently as you got here, there was some hubbub about like the manager of the servants didn't recognize you and just like, who the hell are you? What name did you give him?
Timothy O'Malley.
Says, "Oh, damn it. All right. Well, Timothy, you're on welcoming duty. Once the last one's aboard, get aboard the ship, stow with the ropes and the ramp, and I don't know, find somebody who looks like they know what they're doing. You find out in the immediate arrival that there's been a big like shakeup with the staff. So like this guy like doesn't like the people he was anticipating being here are not here, and like there are all these new faces and stuff. So he's just like dealing with a bunch of shit, which is a great opportunity for you to blend in. Give me an insight check. You're muted or something.
Oh, 15.
15. You keeping an eye out on all the arriving guests, I imagine. You notice a rather impressive figure, a Goliath, some distance off. Uh, you see them make the transition from, walking with a stick and like, obviously having some visual impairment and using that as a guide. And you notice them like almost come to a complete stop, change their their like affectation, like straighten up and like broaden their shoulders, and then like just start walking differently, very obviously putting on a show. Zed, describe for Scabs what he sees.
You see a big old hulking Goliath, who I'm gonna say I was here to be muscle. I have like my full armor on. No weapons in hand, but just like a big old hulking dude. A little bit of wrinkles if you look close. He's getting up there in age.
No weapons whatsoever.
No weapons, but
As
big
you
muscles. Big muscles. You might even classify those as guns, but
walk past the greeter, you hear, "Well, hello. Thank you for coming aboard the Infinite something or other. Have fun aboard." What are you wearing? What are you like? Do you look particularly fancy?
not fancy at all. I'm wearing chainmail, wearing big boots, dark colors. I'm here to be intimidating.
uh, you are making that introduction, Scabs, and welcoming Zed aboard, and drawing in like what you may from this obviously affected appearance of Zed. Um, as you're doing this, like in like Zed, you're approaching the ramp up to the ship here at the dock, which is just this immense like brass and gold and platinum like uh edged vessel that looks to be made out of some sort of like synthetic material as for its like primary hull. It is a like the height of engineering and arcanotech is involved in this thing. A vast ship, cruise vessel. Um, and as you're heading about to head up there, up onto the like the long loading ramp up to the deck, um, you are almost like bumped into Zed as somebody that walked past you earlier suddenly changes directions and like starts like falling backwards, it looks like. And Scabs and Zed, you both are Zed, you're close enough to identify this pretty clearly. And Scabs, you see um a sort of like portly halfling man who's like pretty tall for a halfling. But he's like balding, definitely puts away a few extra sweet pies, and he is carrying with him a large like box, and on top of that is like this like vivarium, this like enclosed like glass like little like biome, and you see inside that are like some like rocks and sand, and there's like some like light in there somewhere, and there's what look like small like miniature vegetation, like look like dwarf trees and things like this. It's all like pretty big for well, this would be very large, impossible even to carry for a regular sized halfling, but this guy's a little extra tall, extra bulky for a halfling, and he like almost like loses his balance and is like falling like has to stumble backwards. And Zed, there's this like moment of like alarm as your senses tell you that there's somebody like approaching you quickly.
Can I reach out to help the dude that's falling?
Yeah,
You said I
absolutely.
was close enough. I want to try to
Yeah, and he's like
not.
stumbling back down the ramp towards you. Go ahead and give me why don't you give me a strength saving throw?
Am I close enough to be able to try and grab this little biome he's carrying to try and
Yeah,
protect that?
absolutely. You can give me a dexterity saving throw.
My rolls are so good today. I rolled a 2, which turns to be, I believe, a 5.
5.
I have a
You said
14 deck
athletics?
save.
I
7,
said
sorry, 7.
a strength saving throw. You got, sorry, what, Scabs?
14.
14. Zed.
Yeah,
This
7.
person's like falling back towards you, and there's a moment where as they're like tipping over and falling backwards, like trying to catch their center of gravity under their feet, but just struggling and just like doing that thing where they just like keep like moving backwards, just not quite able to get their feet under them, going to fall. You reach out to try and support them, trying to catch them, but they just shift in the wrong direction at the wrong moment, and you end up like catching their heel and send them sprawling down the ramp. They clutch the container they're holding, but the like vivarium thing, like the bio like sphere in the glass, like just goes flying. Scabs, you just like shift with like just fluid movement, just grab it out of the air with one hand, bringing it down, and you catch it. The person, the guest, has gone sprawling, and there's a woman, a human woman, that's like cries out, "Alphonse!" And she like hurries down the ramp after him. She's also carrying some boxes, um, and she runs after this halfling to try and help him. It seems.
I Since I just like tripped him up, I'm gonna go out and like make sure I help pick up Alphonse and be like, Terribly sorry, sir. I thought I could catch him. I feel like I made it worse. Sorry.
Oh, oh, oh. Well, not, not the worst off for it. No, no problem, no harm. Um, Oh, the biosphere! Did you see it?
Uh, uh, yeah, I think that somebody caught it. I didn't hear it hit the
I
ground.
think I think you're looking for this. And he like tries to hand it to him, but he wants to like really look inside to see if he can see anything hidden
Yeah,
amongst the greenery.
absolutely. You see, like just looking at it before you even have to make a check, you see that the greenery in this thing is indeed like it doesn't look like just like tiny pieces of greenery that are made to like look like they like a bigger version of themselves. They look like very much like a like actual trees, but just tiny. Like it's not mimicry. It's truly as if like something had been shrunken down. Um, and you see that there is not only vegetation, but there is like some wildlife in there. Why don't you give me an investigation check? And if you are proficient in nature, you can do it with advantage. Or arcana.
19.
19. There are creatures in here. Um, but you notice through the like light that's shining down on this biome, which looks to be like the tiny scale of it seems to be like a small like grassland area, a stream, like a wooded area, and like a like hill, like a rocky hill that goes up into the edge of the glass. So it's like this pretty big and varied biosphere. Everything in it just scaled down to just this tiny size. And looking very closely in there, you notice the creatures moving around, but as you take a very close inspection, you see a very limited variety of animals. You see a huge variety of crawling snakes winding their way through the grass as well as climbing amongst the trees. And you see their prey. There are various rodents. You see like you get a glimpse just like you can imagine like the snakes that you see in the trees like eating the eggs of the birds that you see flying around. Like this seems to be with that like close inspection that you got or that limited inspection that you got. You think that this is like a like snake specific biosphere, like it's meant for the snakes within it.
Oh, sir, thank God I caught this. Seems precious.
Oh,
Beautiful piece. Could you tell me anything about it?
it
As he
is.
hands it to him.
I appreciate it. This is my life's work. I'm glad it finds it in my um. Well, I owe you a great debt. My name's Alphonse Festrius. Well, doctor, doctor of natural philosophy, Alphonse Festrius. This is, like I said, my life's work, and I'm heading out east to set it loose. It's very exciting. We've been preparing the snakes that you've seen inside. They are highly adaptable to new environments. You know, with all the dead out east, they pretty much killed everything. So we're hoping to reinvigorate the landscape with new life, life that is able to adapt to its new and hostile environment.
So,
Well, well, it's good. Well, nice to meet you. I'm glad about the snakes. And ma'am, and you, I've saved a friend here. Do you need help with these bags?
Oh, well, thank you. After Alphonse such a so clumsy. I suggested he take some assistance, but he's such a fool. It's so precious to him. He wouldn't let it out of his own hands. I would love some help, actually. Um, Mine are also precious to me, but well, mine are a little more securely stowed. My experiments are a little more securely stowed than in that glass work that he insists. He likes to see them. Uh, but mine or in these this chest. I we've stowed the less precious of our experiments in the hold already. But if you could help me with this, that would be wonderful.
Well, it's my job. I'd be more than happy to. Let
Uh,
me let me grab as many as I can.
yeah, this woman hands over to you this like heavy like ceramic sort of like chest that she's been carrying, and you can see that this has look to be like we first look to be like air holes, but then you can see that like in the little holes like this like little like arcano magic sort of thing, like a little like filter. You've seen it must be like pumping air because like um it seems to be like you can feel like a different like air pressure and temperature around the box. Um, but she says, ah, much like Alphonse, my name is Basilia Bessemer, and I also am heading out east. We're colleagues, both hoping to add a little bit of life back into the lands of death. Um, or the purported lands of death. I'm very curious also just to see how grim it actually is out there. I hear the city of Loomis is a sight to behold, but the lands around it and beyond, I hear, are still quite desolate.
And what do you hoping to drop off? Something to eat snakes, perhaps?
Oh no, my specialty, well, it's kind of funny. That's how we met. Um, my specialty's rodentia. Uh, and Alphonse, he's specializes in the things that eat my little creations, and that caused us to have quite a contentious relationship when we first met. But I think we've come to see eye to eye as colleagues. We each have our purpose to serve. Our creations are both essential, even if one is an alien sort of abomination that is too reminiscent of the crawling darkness and the evil that we have stowed away. But besides that, he like you can hear some like huffing from Alphonse. Oh, bad name that ripped out the central part of the. And the Basilia continues. She says, "But my creations too. We've well, our collaboration is really what's brought the magic out. The ability to inspire in creatures an adaptability that is far beyond what would be found naturally. We hope that this will allow our creations to thrive and prosper in areas that are hostile to life. And that thriving and prospering will just bring about more life, setting the groundwork for a reclamation of the desolate lands.
Snake life.
Oh, not just snakes, but there will be others that are gathering. It's
Rats.
quite an exciting gathering that's headed for Loomis. We're just going out a little bit early to see the sights and get prepared. Um, and give me an insight check, both of you.
I rolled better.
16.
I rolled an 18.
Yeah. These two are definitely hiding something. Certainly hiding something about the nature of their purpose here, especially like heading out, arriving early for like this, like what seems to be like a weird, like natural scientist slash, but like arcane, magics, like weird, like professor of environmental or biology meets wizard sort of people, a gathering out in Loomis. They're going out there early, and they're definitely lying about why, and they're lying about something else. They're definitely both of them hiding something else.
Interesting.
I had to take a very quick 2-minute break. I'll be right back.
Okay.
2 minutes.
So we left off with Basilia and Alphonse lying to you guys,
Liars.
but about what? Unclear. They seem happy to, or Basilia certainly seems happy to accept your help.
And,
And
and you, Alphonse,
uh,
do you need help carrying this box of yours? I mean, ship's crowded. I'd hate for you to slip again.
oh, I think I've got the box. If you wouldn't mind carrying the biosphere, it's a little bit too big for my arms, so big fella like you ought to take care of it nicely. I'd be most appreciative.
Keep it up high. No one will knock it out of my hands.
Uh, yeah. Do you take the biosphere from Scabs?
Hand it over, friend.
Well, all right then. Just be careful with it,
Oh,
ma'am. Are you sure? I mean, this is my job.
oh, I would love it if and she absolutely takes your help carrying her package. Another
She,
like big it's like that big box that when she hands it over to you, like you can tell like there's like weird airflow around it, some obvious like magical like containment of who knows what weird bioscience and bioarcane science they've got going on in this box.
Who's taking it?
You're taking that one.
you take the box, I take the biosphere. Help the lady. Come on.
Will not be bossed around. This is the ship, the Infinite Frog.
Yes, but
Dawn, Dawn, Infinite Dawn.
you did say you
Uh,
wanted to help her. Yes, because it's your
you,
job.
Scabs. You notice that as you said the name of the ship wrong here loudly, like at the near the ramp. Much of the crew is out. You know, there are other members of the crew that are out here, and notably, the ship's captain is up at the top of the ramp, welcoming guests aboard his vessel. You see the like looks like dark skinned man is actually a earth genasi of just like dark like onyx colored stone is like his flesh has like what looks like really like closely like shaved hair that just looks like tiny bits of like dark gravel, but you can see like some of the gravel is now like turning gray in this like what is like his weird like stony hair. Um, you know, this is, or you've quickly learned on your arrival here and your attempts to blend in that the captain of this vessel is indeed a an Earth Genasi by the name of Captain Zendel Wingen. And give me a deception check as you stumble to recall the name of the vessel that you are in, serving aboard. If Captain, oh, you're mute, I can hear you.
That's Nate.
An 8, you catch the stony glare of Captain Wingen as he goes from glad handing the arrivals to giving you this imperious look of just condemnation and the knowledge that like, hey, I have authority over you, and if I want to do this, like I'm the captain of the ship, and when we're out there, if I decide that I need to kill you, even I can. You are an employee. You are a worker on this vessel, and you have zero standing. And your word against the captain's doesn't mean much. Like that's that sort of like implication in the not power like the authority gap between you and this captain.
Scabs is going to take this box and like sprint up the causeway, whatever it's called, to like get on board the ship. He's gonna duck around a corner. As soon as he does, he's gonna drop this box and then find some place to hide.
All right. Yeah, you quickly leave the owner of the box, Basilia Bessemer, far behind you as she like struggles to like, oh, it's so quick, young man. It struggles to keep up with you, but you leave her behind as you go up the ramp. You pass by the captain as you do so, and he says, crewmen will have words later. And you pass by him. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
17.
You duck into a chamber, just a little side chamber that's like just off the like what's the, like the main passageways for guests, and into like a side like workers like back chamber here. Um, Coast is clear. No sounds of anybody else nearby. Drop the box.
As you ran past the captain, I'm going as fast as I can, Captain.
Speed doesn't mean much if you can't even remember where you are. He like calls after you, uh, or what? Can't remember what ship you're aboard. And you dart away and find a little spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig through this box really quick. In the meantime, I'm also dressing into the niceties that I've brought along as well
Okay.
to help
Uh,
disguise my appearance.
yeah, go ahead and give me investigation check.
While he's looking to the box, I look to Alphonse. Lead the way to the room, sir.
Of course. Thank you, lad.
10.
10. This is a weird box. And you are kind of like looking at it as you're like changing your outfit, trying to like figure out like just like looking at it from different angles. Do you like get change your costume or your appearance? With a 10, you're not even sure how to open this thing. It's like an enclosed case. Like I said, it has what looked to be like what initially looked to be like air holes, but they're actually like glass covered, and like even though like there's some sort of like magic with those that are like letting some air out or in, like you can definitely tell there's like air moving from within the box to the outside. The 10 though, investigating that box, you can tell there is like a stale sort of, not quite stale, rather a kind of like a biological stink to it. There's something living or dying in this. It smells like. It's just kind of faint, like it's probably like the magic of whatever this box is. Probably like filters the air that it passes through, that comes from the inside, but it still like lingers like with some bit of a smell to it. But with a 10 investigation, there's some very like intuitive design way to open this box, but there's no like obvious way. Um, at least from what you can tell in like a quick like couple minutes of quickly dressing and changing your outfit and looking into this thing. Do you want to take it with you and investigate it further, or do you want to leave it here? What do you want to do?
He's gonna kind of stay hidden until people pass. He wants to like fully get into his attire and really make sure he doesn't look the same as he did as Timothy O'Malley.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a few minutes go by as you're examining this box, and then you hear a familiar voice of Basilia Bessemer says, "Oh, that helpful young man. He just went so fast. I saw him heading this way towards the room. I'm sure he's already just delivered the box. Um, well, continue on. Are you sure you're okay there, Zed? You look little out of sorts. Did you not see that turn coming?
I don't know what you're talking about. I saw it just fine. I'm fine. I
Great.
am a little weary on ships sometimes, but
Oh, I'm sure you'll get your sea legs soon enough.
yes. Tell me more about this work you do.
love to. And she chatters on.
And I'm not
Uh,
really listening. I'm just trying to like I'm trying to identify her voice. I want to know her voice and Alfonso's voice as enough as I can.
oh yeah, like you've definitely spent enough time with them that you'd be able to pick their voices out of a crowd at
Chatterboxes.
this point. But she, yeah, goes on to exclaim about her excitement about the upcoming council. They said that there's even rumors that the druids will make an appearance and hopefully give their blessing to the efforts to reclaim the desolate lands. Um, and yeah, just talking about like the research, all the in magic and arcane theory that goes into unlocking the like adaptive potential of these creatures. Really, very she's obviously very excited about it and very certainly pretty knowledgeable too.
I, 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 we're talking about the same city of Lumos where there's like hordes of dead and things around every corner, right? Like that one?
Oh, you've been living under a rock? Loomis, hordes of dead, not for months now.
Oh, are
The
you
desert
sure?
lands have all been but reclaimed. The people of Loomis, the last bastion of civilization out there, they've held strong, and they're reopening to the civilized lands that survived the onslaught of the dead.
I
Um,
guess that news hasn't made it to my part of Pasa. Sorry.
Asa,
Yeah, just where I'm from. You heard of it? Down the
haven't heard of that little
foothills?
hamlet. Must be a little hamlet somewhere, if I've not heard of it. I've been just about everywhere of note.
Which is your favorite? I go on not listening anymore.
She says, well, it's hard to say. Each city has its own spirit, its own.
Oh my, would you look at the time? Here, is the box. I wanted to see something. I got bathroom. I gotta go somewhere. You got it from here?
Yes. We've actually arrived just in time. Do meet me for dinner sometime if you wish to talk
Yeah.
some more.
You know
I'd
what?
love to hear about Possum.
I would hate to get you wet. Bye.
uh, you leave to the hailed thanks of Basilia and Alphonse, and they excitedly and quickly go into their room. Um, and you heard this passing Scabs as they've gone past your hidey hole down the hallway a good ways and hold up in their chamber. You sit there long enough listening to hear Zed head back down the hallway, and it sounds like the coast is clear. Zed, you hear them duck into their chamber, and yeah, what are you each up to now?
Is are we getting here pretty early into the ship's boarding process?
You're like in the middle of it. Probably has like another like couple like hour maybe before it is set to scheduled to depart.
I'm gonna head back to the front and just sit by and kind of be close to the entrances people on board, but not too suspicious. Suspicious. And try to
Excellent.
get a sense of how anybody I see carrying anything that looks interesting in my 10 feet. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. And Scabs.
Scabs is going to stash away the box that he's taken, and he is going to walk out with his fancy attire, getting to the top of the ship and using his opera binoculars to also keep a look at who is boarding the ship
Fantastic.
with the
Uh,
largest top hat you've ever seen. Definitely compensating, overcompensating for something.
must be new money. Um, fantastic. So, Zed, you are currently like you don't have you've not, as far as you know, attracted the ire of anybody on this vessel yet, and
No
are
captains after
a
me.
a ticketed passenger aboard. And no one gives you any hassle as you move around the ship and out onto the deck. Um,
Listening for good conversation.
Excellent. And Scabs, you get out of this like little like butler's like kitchenette thing that you've stashed the chest in. One of the few like you just found this place that just happened to have like yeah, that's like got some storage, some like long-term like storage cabinets and stuff that they're probably not going to use until like a couple days at least into the journey when they have to start restocking like food supplies and stuff out of like other places in here. So like you think you've got a good hiding place for this thing. Um, and you are now attired in your fancy clothes and your tall hat, making you have to kind of like duck in, like through some of the doorways, like the inner doors, especially like the servants' ones or the working doors. The staff hallways and doors have more of like the like military ship like small like hatch to get through versus the much more like open and like um, aesthetically pleasing and open sort of environments where the passengers would be found. But you quickly duck out and are walking around. Give me a you can give me a stealth check, and you can do it with advantage if you have any like if you have performance as well.
25, just stealth.
25. Yeah, the art of looking like you belong is as much a part an art and one of the arts of stealth as sneaking, and just the way that you carry yourself as if you are you expect no one of a lower status than you to even make eye contact without you first initiating such. The way you just walk as if this place you practically own this fucking boat. It's yours. Look at the majesty of your hat. Surely you belong here. Um, and you make it to the top deck of the ship. Pull out your opera glasses and start taking it in and keeping an eye on the arrivals. Why don't you both give me you can either do like perception or investigation or insight, whichever of those I think you would prefer as you watch over the arrivals.
19 perception.
I also rolled a 20 in perception.
Okay.
Wow.
Uh, you're both watching the arrivals aboard this ship, and you've noticed that Alphonse and Basilia really are a little bit of an outlier of the guests of the vessel, as most of the people boarding the Infinite Dawn are many of them are already arriving with servants of their own to carry their luggage. Many of them have not only tickets for themselves, but have also purchased passage for their servants to see to their needs aboard the journey. Um, it is rare for any of these guests to be carrying any of their own luggage. With a 19 and a 20, I will, those are pretty good. I will, for both of you, dispense with the vast majority of the people arriving here. And it occurs to you both, I think, that anybody with a package to carry, if they wanted to do so without drawing attention to themselves, they probably wouldn't be on the board of the vessel as a passenger at all. it'd probably be aboard the vessel as crew, because nobody cares if some employee or some crew member of the ship is carting around some box or carrying some goods. But some rich asshole doing that all the time, now that'd stand out.
Hmm. Uh, I'm trying to decide what I want to do.
Yeah. Um,
Has everyone boarded the ship at this point?
yeah, I think like the minutes pass, and then like an hour, hour and a half passes, and the people boarding slows to a trickle, and then you hear a horn announcing the ship is preparing to disembark. You hear some bells, you hear some like calls, some like criers, last like crew members like crying out for or announcing the last call for boarding for the Infinite Dawn, en route to the city of Loomis. Last call, and the ramp begins to be drawn up.
I'm gonna go with the flow. Is there like an area where people are congregating in this wonderful ship, or is it like everybody hangs out in their rooms?
Oh yeah, there's like a lot of activity. There's so many people of like money and standing and stuff, just kind of like ambulating around on the deck, taking in the sights. So many people are like looking at like the great fountain and like in awe of it. You can see that there's like some bit of um like blue watery arcane magic beginning to like appear and grow above the fountain, or like between the fountain and the moon that's locked so far away up above. um the ritual of the holiday is going on as planned, so there's some people, like a lot of people just kind of out, just kind of looking at that. You see that there are people in like little like flying craft, like little like, I don't know, just like think like what is it, windboarding, is that
Wait,
the
yeah,
word?
kiteboarding or
Well, the where you're on the like basically surfboard that
windsurfing?
has a sail,
Windsurfing.
windsurfing.
There's
Yeah,
it.
think like people like windsurfing, but they're like flying on the like sailing along the water, but then sometimes you'll see them like launch up into the air, and they'll just be like flying and gliding around in the air, and you see they're like so many people just like doing this for fun or whatever. But as the like blue light above this like immense like fountain that's like bigger than like buildings, bigger than like city blocks, as its like magical light is like appearing in the center above it, like a beam going all the way up to the moon. You can see these people in their little like skipper flying windsurfing things, like fly into the air, like zoom as close as they can to the blue beam of light before they chicken out and like fly away. You see that there's like some like griffin riders flying around trying to like shoo them away from like actually like getting too close to the like potentially very dangerous beam of arcane energy and stuff, but like fucking yahoos are just going to be yahoos, and they're still like doing their like crazy shit trying to like you know come close to danger and have fun and everything. Like people are just doing stupid shit with the excitement of the celebrations, and a lot of the guests are out on the deck of the ship just kind of taking all that in as the vessel begins to lurch away from the dock and out into the water.
Are we in Florida by chance?
We are in fantasy Florida.
Oh fuck.
I love Fantasy Florida. Well, then I guess I'm gonna try to fit in. I'm gonna go find a drink and glad hand some rich people. God knows
Not
they love
Yeah.
me.
hard to find a drink. There are like crew that are like walking around with trays of beverages like sparkling wines and like exotic cocktails and stuff. Easy to get a drink and mingle.
I have a deep tan, a bleach blonde beard, and like a thick gold chain around my chest now. That seems
Nice.
like the Florida royalty.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I can see it in my inner mind's eye. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you adapt your costume to the local environment, like shedding your enormous top hat and some of the finery and going for redneck rich.
Tiger King.
Uh fantastic. Um so you both go and just start trying to like mingle a little bit, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um Scabs. You um you make your way back down through the ship to the main deck where it seems like the majority of people are. It seems like a lot of people just haven't like found haven't explored the vessel enough because it's a big ship. Haven't explored the vessel enough to find like different places to like stand and hang out. So a lot of people are just kind of like mingling on like the big first like open like space with all these like tables and things like made and nice to just hang out and relax while the ship gets underway uh, on the lower deck. And as you're heading from the top, like small, like kind of like vantage that you were on before, going back down through the ship, you kind of hang near the little like kitchenette thing that you had stashed the box. And as you do so, you overhear some of the staff talking in the back room as you kind of like work your way a little bit close to like kind of places where you shouldn't be as a passenger, but like you're just a rich passenger. What are they going to do? Like, say, you just be like, oh, I got lost, or I was looking for the bathroom, or like, fuck you, you're poor, whatever you want to say. Um, you overhear some of the staff talking, and they say, like, yeah, Jean said that like half the crew is just new arrivals. They like rescheduled a bunch of people. It was a big shakeup right before all we got underway. So um, Ashton's not going to make it, I guess. And he was the one who was bringing all the booze for us. So I guess we're gonna have to steal from the hold again. Just fucking hope Wingen doesn't find out. They just like are conspiring a little bit about like how the crew are going to, you know, supply their partying below and between decks. As aboard every cruise ship, all the employees are partying and fucking each other the entire time. Um, seems to be true on this vessel as well. Um,
Restaurant
and
workers, they're just a gross group of people. Just kidding. I love them.
And you overhear them say something else. They hear you say like, "Yeah, like half the new people that came aboard, like they're not even like fucking working. I've already had to like pick up other people's tasks. Like seems like just half of them are just like hanging out below decks the whole goddamn time." Um, they uh conversation goes on. They say like you hear that they say like the other one says like, yeah, like I followed one of them earlier and like there was like four of them just hanging out in that like the old rec room that nobody, like the employee rec room that nobody used, and now it's just a fucking like storage room. They're just hanging out in there like quiet. Like what the hell are they doing down there? They just like sleeping? They fucking drugged out? I don't know. Well, if they keep this up, I guess we can sick winging on them. Had the swift trip out of our off our boat and out of our hair. If they're not doing any goddamn work, what's the point of even having them on here? Anyway, they continue just kind of talking about this as you.
Uh, he's actually going to speak up.
Hmm.
Well, it sounds like you're being a bunch of fucking knocks. Why you bitching about your friends? They're just trying to party like everyone else. Why don't you just have a good time? Hey, anyone could score any frostweed for me by chance? I'm gonna pull out like a couple gold pieces, like the only gold pieces he has, like left
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. They're like one of them, like immediately, like as they hear your voice, like before they see that you are a wealthy person, they say like, they're not our friends, and they're not. If they carry their fucking oh, uh, yeah, we're not narcs, but it's not fair that we have to do all their work for them. Well, they're not even partying. They're not even doing anything worth doing. They're just like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Frostweed, yeah, I got you, buddy. Need anything else? We've got really anything you need.
Well, I mean, what's it worth it if I go down and slap some of your friends around? Maybe make them get back to work? What do you give me for that?
Well, uh, the Frostweed will be on the house if you're able to do that, and if you're looking to have some real fun, I've got some of this crystal blue. It's enchanted. It's enchanted to make sure the come down is smooth and like butter, like buttery clouds. Fucking best high you've ever had, smoothest come down, and you just feel better than when you were high for like a month afterwards.
Well, I mean, sounds like some pussy shit to me, but if that's all you got, I'll go for it.
Call it pussy shit, but when you're riding this thing, out of your goddamn mind.
Is that crystal blue? What was it called?
Crystal blue.
Not even once.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
They give you directions to the old rec room.
He heads on his way.
All right. So Zed,
Zibba-dibba-dibba-did.
Zibby Debs, you're up on the deck mingling. It sounds like.
That's what I'm doing.
Right on.
I'm trying to
Um,
get everybody real drunk real fast.
You, yeah, make the rounds trying to be everybody's friend, trying to encourage inebriation and loose lips. Why don't you go ahead and just give me a performance check as you kind of like make the rounds and see how
Oh,
you
it's
can
poor.
fit in.
I choose all the wrong decisions. 3.
3. Um, you don't know what it is, but it seems that very quickly, every time you like approach a group of people who are chatting or like any cluster trying to like work your way in, they quickly lose interest in whatever they were talking about and disperse, leaving you standing alone. It seems like you were quickly being identified as rather a bore and a possible a drunkard who is just gonna make an embarrassment of themselves as you try and like get this like party started and everybody's like, oh rather. The most uptight of these Florida Richies are apparently in your neighborhood here, and they don't are not too enthralled by you.
I keep trying for a while, but after like the fourth party, fifth, well, sixth party like leaves, I like throw my drink on the ground and I'm like, "You people are all giantess! I can't believe this! I'm just trying to get to know some people. God!" And I'll start making a little bit of a scene.
Uh, you see oh, I'm sorry, a mess. Please allow me to help. And you see that Captain Zendel Wingen approaches. Um, This like almost like onyx black skin, just like kind of shining in the sun, um, and looking rather striking in his uniform. Um, steps up to you and says, like just kind of like making like a just trying to like provide, it seems like, some cover for you initially. Then as he gets close, he says, um, "You're more than right, friend. These people make poor company.
Oh,
Would you care to join me at my table this evening?"
kind offer. Who the heck are you?
Ah, sorry, I thought I would have introduced myself already as you board the ship. I am appalled to have missed you, I guess.
I was being
I am
distracted by
Captain Zendel
halflings.
Wingen at your service.
Oh, Captain! My Captain. Wonderful to meet you?
Pleasure is mine. No, come, let us walk and talk, my friend. And he takes just smoothly takes a couple of drinks off a passing tray and hands you a glass and says, "Please, don't wait to indulge yourself on my behalf." And he like downs his drink and then grabs another one.
Oh, I follow his lead, except for no, I follow his lead. I drink the drinks.
All
Let's
right.
get spot. But should you be drinking? Do you have to steer the ship?
I am here more than anything as a figurehead to keep the peace and to charm old women and ensure they have an exciting and memorable trip. Being a captain aboard one of these ships is a formality more than anything, if I'm being honest, my friend.
Charming old women. I understand that job. Ah, we'll lead the way, sir.
He wanders along with you, making some small talk, and so you find yourself having been kind of like led away from the crowd. Um, he says to you, takes another drink, and he locks eyes with you, and he says, "If we are being honest with each other about the masks that we wear as a part of our role, or my role, or my, as the mask, as I described for you, the mask I wear as the captain of this vessel. Would you care to take your mask off for me?"
I like reach at my face and I'm like, I'm unsure what you're talking about,
Why are
Captain.
you on my ship?
I love Lumos. It. I love celebrating the crawling creek. I was hired to be here, Captain. But obviously you knew this already.
I certainly knew you weren't an average passenger. Not many, not many who have the money to buy first class tickets aboard this vessel bear as many scars as you, my friend.
I mean, I'm also not a giant asshole, so it gives it away right away.
It's true as well. Uh, the disdain I have learned uh, for the passengers aboard the ships I captain over the years really knows no bounds. And that's one of the reasons why when I notice peculiarities like yourself, I take interest. So there are always at least a few interesting people on every voyage.
There's a
What are
few.
you hired to do on my ship?
Well, I'm hired to be here for now. That's what I'm comfortable talking about, Captain. Trust me, I'm not here to do any harm to anybody, but just make sure that the people are safe.
So you're afraid of some danger befalling either the crew or the passengers aboard my vessel, and you won't let me, the captain, know what that danger might be. That seems peculiar to me.
Well, apologies, Captain, but seeing as I'm not sure what the danger might be, I figure tell as few people as possible.
Hmm.
You haven't given me any reason to super trust you yet, other than you don't like old rich people, which, I mean, who does?
Fair enough.
But I
You
hear we
know,
haven't.
I could have my crew seize you and either lock you away for the journey or throw you overboard.
I laugh very just. You could. This would be fun. Uh, but why? Why? It would prove nothing, and you'd lose some men.
Hmm, maybe so. And perhaps that's something you could help me with. My shortage of good sailors aboard my ship. They changed up the manifest right before we were due to set off. Many of the hands and faces I and this ship are familiar with were diverted. Some new faces and hands came aboard, and I've seen less of them than I would expect unless they were shirking their duties or were up to something. You might not draw their attention so much as I would. You can earn my trust, liar, or I can take a harder look into who you are and why you're aboard my ship.
I mean, there's no need for name calling, Captain.
If you actually care about the safety of the people of this ship and don't want any harm to befall it or us, then you have no reason not to work with me on this.
In
And it
that,
would be a
if
good way of demonstrating your goodwill.
it isn't interview with anything else I have to do, I'd much rather not have to glad hand people all day.
Well, then it's agreed.
And did you happen to see anybody else interesting on your ship? Just before we get into the details of it.
I'll tell you what I've found interesting on my ship. The crew changing at the last moment, the new crew barely showing their faces to me. Some of them came aboard with luggage. The crew don't bring shit aboard. Like, they get their uniforms, they have a bag of clothing, and that's it. Everything that they need is taken care of aboard the ship. Something is going on with those people.
Hmm.
The other guests, I mean, you and I did see you. Just you were the least interesting member of the people coming aboard. That asshole, I think one of these new crew members didn't even know the name of the ship he was working on. He was
Oh,
welcoming people aboard to, you said like something like the Infinite Toad or something stupid like that.
I believe it was Frog.
Keep an eye on that one.
Uh, to
That I
yes,
do remember you though. You were helping that clumsy halfling or that clumsy man
correct.
and the woman with their packages.
Doctor, doctor,
Pardon?
and doctor. They
Hmm.
doctor, smart people. Yes.
Well,
I lost track of the Toad Man.
I think I might know where you can find him.
That would be helpful. I had some questions for him.
I had Chip's bosun looking after these new arrivals, the new crew members. I was He's the one who let me know about them bringing personal effects aboard. He said that some of them had them stored in an old, well, the crew, I'll say, get their exercise in without needing a recreation room. Um, there's an old one. It's mostly just for storage now, but there's some old shit in there too. They said that they stored some stuff in there. I would like you to go investigate that for me. And if you see any crew member down there up to something suspicious, you let me know that too.
Are you looking for anything particular, or
I just like to know anything suspicious, honestly. I'm hoping I'm just gonna have to kick some ass and get these people to work. I'm hoping they're just some fools wanting a free ride. But I'm I'm always the omens aren't good, and it's an auspicious day to be setting sail. Just keep an eye out.
Captain? I would gladly just answer me one thing. Do you know of anything interesting on this ship? Anything dangerous?
It's a cruise ship. It has all the same bullshit and these other rich assholes would want on any of their yachts. And it's interesting, dangerous. This whole ship has kid gloves on it for these soft people. None of these people have sailed a hard sea. None have been buffeted by the winds above. These are soft people wanting an enjoyable trip. There is nothing dangerous on this ship, I can assure you.
Do I trust that this captain only wants me to just spy on them, or does he seem like he wants something different?
Yeah, why don't you give me an insight check?
I would love to be insightful. Let's see what answers we can get. Oh my god, I hate rolling dice sometimes. I'm gonna go 6.
Oh,
No, 5, even better.
Um, there is like definitely some like some animosity this captain has for these people that he wants you to investigate. It's unclear if he's just like kind of a hard ass who wants the people who are working here to actually do some fucking work, or if he's, got something else going on. He definitely has some like emotional response to all of this, especially it seems like the sudden change up in the staffing of the vessel just before departure. Um, but no obvious no obvious like deception or anything that's coming through clearly.
Well, Captain, I'm glad to help, but you're sure there won't be any suspicion with me just wandering around crew quarters? Like, we're good there?
Well, any crew members you come across would be delighted to, I'm sure, help you find your way, as you would most assuredly be lost in some parts of the deck. You might find yourself in this investigation. If you need to use my name and authority to explain yourself, please do so. But it may be helpful to play dumb for a while, see what you can learn without, being deputized.
Do you, do you happen to have any? You ever have to take stuff from the crew, like drinks or contraband? Anything you could potentially be used to sway some minds?
Absolutely. We rarely, I mean, there is a lot of um, agreement to look the other way as far as what the crew brings aboard in terms of alcohol and drugs and other forms of entertainment. But when things have gotten rowdy in the past, we have taken some of that as punishment, and there are still some of those supplies, we'll say, in under lock and key in the bosun's stash.
Any chance of you unlocking some of that for me so I can get you what you
Absolutely.
want?
Yeah, you guys walk and talk, and he leads you to the this door, which he knocks on and introduces you to the bosun of the vessel, Grawl Hallbreck, um, who carrying a big like set of keys opens this this big chest and that has like these various like shelves and compartments inside it and pulls out there's like some like money like loose like coinage in here, a few like weird like arcanotech little like toys and like metallic little baubles and things, um and noticeably a number of bags of drugs.
I take those and one of them toys
Hmm.
and say, "This should definitely do the trick."
Excellent.
Are these
Uh,
edible drugs or smokable drugs?
um, they are. You can smoke them. You can snort them. You can bake them. Eating them raw will just give you a pretty nasty headache.
Uh, I just simply grab the things, turn, and walk away. Smoke if you got 'em, and I light up a joint and walk down through the crew quarters.
Righteous. Scabs. You hear as you are uh, heading down. We'll say actually first. Lastly, Zed. You light up a joint, walking down into the crew quarters, just smoking it boldly as you walk through the like these chambers and hallways of the vessel. Um, you guys, both of you in your respective locations, feel a lurch of the ship, feeling like it's like you just got heavier for a moment. And at some point, you look out a window and you see that you've been sailing for some time, and now the water of the ocean is falling away from you as the ship takes flight. You hear
Oh,
the thrumming of the Zephyr engines lifting this ship up out of the water and into the air. You see Scofiuscar shrinking, this immense city shrinking in the distance as you head north and east towards land and over it as you head towards the city of Loomis.
oh yeah. Here we go.
Vessel continues its journey as expected from sea to the air and then landing eventually, you presume, at Loomis itself. Journey should take a week or two, week and a half maybe. But in the meantime, you have more important things to attend to. Scabs. Or rather, sorry, the last thing, Zed, as you feel the lurch of the ship, and you see that you've taken flight. Um, there is shouting that you hear coming from above. There's some alarm going up, and as you head deeper into the depths of the ship, you hear this yelling, this screaming, familiar voice, one that you have already trained yourself to hear. Alphonse Festrius.
Mm.
No! My babies! My snakes are gone!
Oh God, no.
The chamber's broken! They've escaped! Help! Help me collect them! Help me find them! My babies!
Oh, I walk away from that sound.
You travel beneath the into the ship towards a certain disused recreation room. Uh, Scabs. You've been skulking your way below deck. You still wearing the outfit of Florida Rich. The only sound really of your passage through this space, the occasional clink of your gold chain around your neck. You have avoided uh, passing crew members up to this point, but you believe you're drawing closer to the rec room. Please give me a stealth check.
10.
10.
He attempts to put his gold chain inside of his jacket. He's shirtless, of course, but he has like a white jacket with shoulder pads. He adjusts his fedora, but as the chain falls into his pocket, it clinks a little bit louder than he expected it to.
Beautiful.
So amazing.
You uh creep through these hallways in this like crew area of the ship, and if the instructions you've been given are accurate, the rec room is just ahead. You've you know that you've just passed some signs. You know, like the galley, the kitchens are just another floor below you. You know, you're like 3 floors of the ship below, like the last like guest area, a large like ballroom, which took up most of that area or that floor of the ship. So you're like in this thing in the bowels of the vessel. Gone are any like finery, any like fine accoutrements and pieces of the ship, and it is now just down to like the material need of this vessel and its crew. Everything's much more hard and brutal, as you can see, like exposed pipes and things. Like there's like various fluids and things that are transported about this ship to keep it running. There's like arcano cables, like transporting arcane energy from one place to another. You don't really know the workings of this ship, but it is vast and complex, and you are in its belly. With a 10, the clink of that golden chain, there's just like as you were coming around the corner, one last like little like clink of it, and you know, like you think a sudden silence. Give me a perception check.
15.
15. somebody heard you approach. You know that there was some amount of like ambient noise, even though you couldn't place it. Maybe whispers or just like heavy breathing or like or movement behind a door. Some noise stopped.
I'm gonna do my best to like sink into the shadows as much as possible. Like start falling back and hide as best as possible.
Okay. Yeah, you retreat a little ways, ducking into a little like a side passageway, making sure that passage is clear as well. You hear nothing coming from that direction, and you just kind of like peek around, keeping your ear peeled for any noise. Minute passes, nothing. And you hear slight scuff of some movement and a murmur of some voice behind a door, perhaps. Sounds like they've returned to normal.
I'm just gonna move forward again, very carefully.
Give me another stealth check. This one with disadvantage, as they've recently been worried.
A
Or
23 and a 10. We'll go with a 10.
oof. You advance closer. You can hear the murmurings, some voices behind this like steel hatch of this door up ahead. You can see that the rec room, like there's like a label that's like above the chamber, like just to the right of the hatch that goes into this, what you expect as a rec room, as it was at least once clearly labeled as rec room. It's been crossed out and now just says fuck room.
Okay.
Uh, he wait, did he get any of the crystal blue? No, he only has the frostweed right now, right?
Hmm.
He's gonna fucking kick that door in, lighting up a joint of frostweed, saying, "Let's get this fucking party started."
Absolutely. Why don't you what do you think? Why don't you give me just a charisma check, just a raw juicy charisma check as you just barge in here.
13.
13. And I would also, in addition to that, like a deception check, please.
I don't want to do either of these. 2 on the deception. Fuck.
You barge into this room and the door slams open and you have obviously like there's like one person who's like sitting down across the room from you, like just like on this old like bench, some like arcane like workout equipment, and there's they're like staring at you like as if they expected this. And then there's another person that is like has a sword drawn and is like has it over their head ready to like chop you as you come in. uh and they just like look at you like totally taken aback by this like strange entrance. uh and they one says like, "What the fuck are you?"
Cunning action, disengage.
They've like they like the one that was holding the sword is kind of like shifts it, like takes it out of like ready to kill you, and just is like it's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And you just like take a quick step, fluid step back to give some space.
Yeah, he's going to um he's going to disengage with everyone. He's going to run out of the room as quickly as possible and run as far away from the situation as he can.
Yeah, you drop the frostweed that you lit up, and you just sprint away as fast as you can.
There's
Uh,
a Scabs like shaped like cloud of dust as he runs away.
absolutely. Um, this as you run away, you hear one of them say to the other, "That's right, I think he's just a fucking narc." And you run away, and it's just you like run around the corner, and smell you smell some of the frostweed, like that you had just like lost, like you just dropped. Like you're not sure, like this isn't the way you came in. Like this is a different smell, and around the corner comes Zed.
Hello?
Practically like run into each other coming around a
Uh,
corner.
uh, uh, ah! Uh, oh, it's you again. I
Uh,
can smell it.
has Scabs like clocked that Zed is blind at this point?
I don't know, have you?
Yeah, I mean that's up to you guys, I think, really.
I'm gonna do a
Oh, you
perception
saw me with
check.
the stick and got up, but other
Oh
than
yeah,
that,
you did see, you saw you when you were
Oh, right,
after
right,
you
right,
were
right.
watching people arrive.
I think Scabs is gonna try and walk away, but is gonna fuck it up. He's gonna trip over something for sure. I
are you walking past me or away the way you came?
there ain't no one here. You ain't hear nothing. I'm just the wind.
You know I can hear, right?
Psst, psst, psst.
What, where are you running from?
Uh, there's some man who's chasing me. Some bad people down there. You should help me, please. Please, I need help.
I got muscles.
Oh, thank God.
You work on the crew.
No, I'm a rich person.
Dude, I saw you holding the. Why would a rich person be helping a halfling with their bags?
I mean, you don't know what rich people do. We get up to all sorts of crazy shit.
Can I
With enough,
recognize this is Scabs just talking in a slightly different accent than from before?
Uh, yeah, you can give me an insight check, I think, to are you trying to Scabs, are you trying to pretend to be a different person than your previous interaction? Or you
yeah, he doesn't know this guy is. He's blind. He has no idea.
yeah. You can give me a deception check, I
I rolled
guess.
a
And
12
assist.
this time.
It's an 11.
Yes!
Yeah. Got a good ear for this. You recognize voices.
Dude, drop the act.
All right.
Now, you said there was somebody for me to beat up. We'll talk more later. Are they chasing you?
Yeah, you'll definitely. You should head down there.
Lead the way.
Well, I was thinking maybe. I mean, you're the big man in the armor.
I grab him and start dragging him towards wherever the hell he came from.
Well,
Uh,
put me down, you big son of a bitch.
Don't worry. We have ways of making friends. Look at the things that I have. I'll show him all my fun drugs.
Well, now we're talking.
so you guys are heading down into we're back towards the rec room.
Yes,
Yep.
indeed.
Okay. Uh, you guys Are you trying to be are you trying to be quiet?
I don't know how to do that.
Fair enough.
Desperately, but being held in place is probably pretty difficult.
Yeah. If you'd like to, you guys can give me a stealth check, but it sounds, Zed, like you might just be marching in. What do you think?
I don't want to give a stealth check. I
Okay.
march in.
Marching in. Uh, so you approach the rec room. You once again hear nothing from inside. You open the hatch into this room and see the two figures that you saw before, Scabs. Both of them now are armed and standing there. They look like they both have packages with them. They both have looks to be like a box on like what looks to be like a dolly. Like it looks like a steamer chest or something similar. Like one of those like old chest people like had like when they're crossing the Atlantic on the on the old vessels like Titanic or
I
whatever.
hope not the Titanic, because
Who
that
knows?
didn't work out
Maybe this
well.
one will go down too. We'll see. Uh, but they both like have these like rolling like little dolly things to move these enormous like steamer trunks that are probably like 3 feet like almost cubes. Um, uh, and they but both of them right now are armed. One of them has a sword and it's like holding it up and ready to advance on you. The other has what seems to be like some sort of like repeating crossbow thing leveled at you, and they say, "Stop! Who the fuck are you?"
While I'm like struggling to get free from Zed, I'm just gonna pull out a crossbow or my short bow and fire at the crossbow guy.
Okay, let's roll initiative.
So
Let's go to the bathroom really quick. Be right back.
I
Yeah,
thought
sounds
we were
good.
gonna party.
The party is the fight.
I snort a quick line of blue crystal you give me.
Do you really?
I mean, if he's offering, I'm taking.
Oh yeah. All right, we back.
I'm back.
Mhm.
Uh, so the you take the drug.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you snort some of the crystal blue, and uh, I will provide reference to this quote for this because it is not mine, but it is appropriate for what you experience as this crystal blue hits the membranes in your nostrils and your airways and just rushes into your bloodstream and your brain. Um, the way it feels, like it's an ego enhancing drug that takes a hold of a normal or normal or hyper normal ego, foundering in the umbra of rational thought, id ridden, fumbling and unaware of it or itself, and transforms it into a forged titanium fortress housing a crystalline consciousness just dripping with highlights and bristling with juicily dangerous sharp edges. Upon consumption of the drug, the consumer remains calm outwardly, while within burgeons a much larger and oh so very calmer calm, a waveless calm, a serene, reposeful halcyonian calm, a calm based on the sudden and irrefutable knowledge that one is really quite a nice guy. No, a great guy. A prince, in fact, nay, a lord, a great lord, stark and terrible, whose name or intimation of one's name conjures over all in solemn veneration in each mere and mortal consciousness within the vast breadth of one's omniscient gaze. Faint hearts quail, all bow, nay, genuflect before the all-knowing, all-seeing, all-being. You feel really fucking high and like you're the greatest thing at the center of the universe, Scabs. You're rolling pretty deep. You can have, for this moment, also advantage on your initiative roll. You're quiet.
Nice. Uh, 16.
All right.
I also rolled a 16.
Nice.
Got a 16 for the both of you.
I didn't even have to do drugs.
Who's going first between you? Probably Scabs.
13 dex plus, or plus 13, or plus 3.
Yeah, you're going first.
Okay. All right. Scabs, you have the initiative. You are like in the entrance to this room. I feel like you guys just barged in here, and both are like in this chamber with like maybe like 5 feet separating you from the guy with the sword, and like 15 feet separating you from the woman with the crossbow.
Scabs can take a shot at the woman with the crossbow.
Okay,
23 to hit.
that hits.
8 plus sneak attack. Oh, this is a crit because I'm firing first, so that's actually uh 6 plus 3 plus 11 plus sneak attack, which would be plus 12, so that's 23 plus additional 11, that's 34.
Jeez, 34 points of damage.
Yep.
Damn. Fantastic. That shot just like hits this one with the crossbow, like center of mass, just like sinks into her body. Like you know, like it's gonna take like a surgical operation to remove this safely at this point. It doesn't seem to have killed her outright, but she is so fucking heavily wounded. Like you can see like her arm just like almost like goes limp as she takes this shot, and she's like struggling to lift it again to like aim her crossbow at you. This is like almost taken her out of the fight in one shot.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Whoa! Lord Scabs all up in this bitch.
Excellent. Great. Is that end your turn?
That'll be the end of his turn.
Okay, Zed, you're up.
I sat down Scab and look at him for a moment, and I'm like, what? Uh, and I look over to the guy with the knife and be like, you're gonna want to put that down, right?
Uh, you try and like speak these calming words over the screams of their companion as they've been shot, in the screams of Scab's celebration, as they have realized their significance to the universe.
I am still gonna be hopeful. I will pull out my stick real quick and hold to dodge.
All right, so you're gonna try and defuse the situation. Why don't you give me a persuasion check with disadvantage?
2.
A 2?
Yes.
Yeah, this person looks at you like and sees you like put it like put move into this like defensive position, and like realizes that that you are trying to lure them into a trap. This is like a some sort of trick that you're performing, and so then like takes out a throwing knife and just hurls it at Scabs instead of approaching you. So it's gonna take 2 of these throwing attacks against you, Scabs. Um, First one is a 12 to hit merely.
That will not hit.
Second one's a 16 to hit.
16 will hit.
Okay. What are my dice over here? There we go.
I don't get opportunity attacks when somebody's firing past me, right?
No, plus they're right now they're like 10 feet away from you.
Oh, I thought it was just
Um,
like right next to me.
yeah,
Sorry.
there's a 5 foot gap between you and them, so
Ah, yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
yeah, looking at a grid, they'd be 10 feet away. You take 6 points of piercing damage, and you can give me a Constitution saving throw.
Is this a poison thing?
It is. Oh yeah, you have
I have
advantage. Yeah.
advantage, yeah. We'll go with 10 instead of the 4.
That's still not good enough. You take 7 points of poison damage.
Halve to 3.
And you, unless you're immune, you are affected by the poisoned condition.
Oh shit. Disadvantage on attacks.
Attacks and
All right.
ability checks. Um, all right. Um, so that was the swordsman's turn with the 2 thrown daggers. The heavily wounded bowman. This woman behind is going to take 2 crossbow shots. Seeing you, Zed, also seeing you, Zed, and seeing you not take direct action, is going to target the one who almost murdered her.
Oh
2
no.
attacks, quickly reloading this like repeating crossbow thing. Evan,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, your one sails wide as they like are struggling, like wince with pain, and like they're just like a spasm takes them as they like miss the first shot. They bite down on their lip or their cheek and they just like grit through this, and the second shot hits you, doing 12 points of damage.
Damn. I
It's a big old crossbow, and they rolled well.
All right. That definitely knocks Scabs back a little bit.
You hear in the distance the sound of more screaming. Zed, you've heard this before, but Scabs, I think this is the first time the screaming has reached this far down below decks, you having already been moved down here. The screams of snakes! The snakes are everywhere! We gotta get them back! God, they're everywhere! And that brings us to the top. Scabs, you're up.
All right. How many people are left in the room that's not me or Zed?
There are only 2 other people in here.
The lady with the crossbow is almost dead.
Looking pretty fucked up, yeah.
Yeah, let's take in the shot at her.
Okay. Also, I think you would have also noted that it doesn't look like the swordsman has any more throwing daggers, at least none that are obvious to you. So you have between you and that person Zed, so you're at least protected to some extent, I think, right now from that person. They can't really charge you because Zed's between you and them, and you don't think they have any more ranged attacks for the moment.
All right. I'll take the bonus action to take steady aim. 13 to hit.
13, I think, 13 misses.
Oh. All right. He will stay where he's at.
All right.
Oh man, this is so fucking good. I can't even tell what's going on.
Oh, I forgot to also mention that that does also give you 10 temporary hit points. Your
Oh,
burst of from the drugs. I meant to mention that last round, but I forgot.
noted.
Um, so probably still hurting, but a little less, I imagine.
No, that helps.
Um, yeah. All right, Zed, you're up. There's no indication at this point, Zed, that this, at the very least, they are defending themselves against attack, and your companion is still like engaging with them, or this other person that you've arrived here with is still engaging them. You can try and defuse the situation, but it might take a little bit more direct action to do so. I'm not sure what it would do, but what do you have in mind?
Well, I guess I'll do this. How far between those two? It doesn't fucking matter. I put down my stick real quick and quickly snap my fingers, bamp my halberd into my hand, and swing it at the dude's face.
Okay.
No! Good rolling today. Math is hard. 12 to hit?
12 to hit?
Yeah, I'm gonna
No,
guess
that
that
doesn't make
doesn't
it.
hit. Well, I'm gonna run up to him and just get in his face then.
Yeah, nice. Getting in front of him, between him and getting a little more space between him and Scabs. That ends your turn. This guy brings out his like rapier and tries to hit you or slash you with it. Uh, that's a 22 to hit you, Zed.
That'll do the trick.
It only scores 4 slashing damage.
Tis but a scratch.
He's going to make his second attack. That one's going to be a 15 to hit.
Miss.
The second one goes wide. After him is the crossbow woman. She says, direction's already set. Go, hold them off. I'll go open the chests. She turns away. Don't even think she's going to take another shot. She just drops her crossbow, and then like moves over and like pushes her like steamer truck or steamer trunk ahead of her, grabs this dude's steamer trunk and it's like little like dolly like carrier thing or roller thing, and like one ahead of her, one behind her, begins to like try and like maneuver her way through this room and away from you all. You see that there's another door in the back of this room that she's trying to escape through. She's making slow progress though, at least for this round, as she like takes both these chests and tries to move away. Scabs.
Get her, Scabs. I don't know your name. Get her, dude.
Yeah, Scab's gonna start taking
Timothy or
shots at her.
whatever.
Timothy O'Malley, of course.
Yeah.
Get her, O'Malley.
Yeah, he's gonna fire off a couple shots of the short bow. Once again, he will take the steady aim ability to get advantage. 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
14 plus 10, 24 damage.
And she says, "I'll open the chest." She like turns and starts moving away, and you sink another arrow right through her torso, like just like a mirror image on the opposite side of her spine from where the last one entered, and she just like collapses. Like you hit something essential. Something lost pressure, blinked out consciousness, and she just falls down, dying immediately.
He goes to move closer, but because it took steady aim, he cannot. Screams out, "That's what I'm fucking talking about!" Woo!
Fantastic. Well done. Anything else for your turn?
That'll be it.
Yeah, God, you don't need an example or like demonstration that your will reigns supreme upon the universe. But this, like, you just saw this, you foresaw the arrows sinking into her body, you saw the whole thing, you felt it, you're just like perfect. You just like manifested your will into the world. God damn, it feels good to be you.
Lord Scabs.
Zed.
Um, seeing as she ran, I'll preemptively grab this one and hold on to him to make sure he's not getting anywhere.
So you're trying to grapple?
Yeah, we'll grapple. Oh my god.
Can you beat a 13? Athletics?
You think I would be able to?
Being a big Goliath fighter as you are.
Yes, but my dice say otherwise, and they rolled a 7.
Oof.
Just batting your approach away, keeping their blade between you and them, like you're unable to like just get in close quarters and grab them. They keep like moving away from you. And as your turn, is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Curse their name. That's about it.
All right. Yeah, you curse a name that you hope is theirs, and they keep you at like swords, keep their sword between you and them as you're trying to like get in close and stop them as they kind of like move backwards towards the steamer trunks. And they say, fine then, if this is the way it has to be, we'll do it here. And they're on their turn going to open up the steamer trunk that they have.
There better not be snakes in
And
that
they're going to
box.
do it by raising the sword above their head and just bringing it down on the locking mechanism on this thing, trying to smash it open. The blade slams into the lock. Their longsword shatters on the impact, but the lock is broken as well. The trunk seems to spring open with force of trying to keep something contained within it. And while you may have been expecting to find some artifact in this, what they were so eager to release, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you've just been hearing these screams about like snakes loose aboard the ship, the like biosphere of the halfling having been broken open, and all these creatures now running amok aboard the vessel above. Some stupid fucking calamity that like you guys are dealing with important shit, and then like upstairs, like, oh, like snakes got loose, who cares? More fucking snakes pour out of this chest. You look at them, and as they like pour out, seemingly like pushed out from some like internal like pressure, like I said, multitudes of these things spilling out into this chamber, filling it, spilling past your legs. You realize that these are not snakes. Their mouths aren't snake-like. In the like hundreds of these things that have spilled into the space and are already writhing their way past you, you can see some are already like latching onto like a leech. Not you and your bodies, but like parts of the ship itself. And you can see they're burning, their mouths are like burning their way through the hole. And there's a moment like you see like like one of these like long snakes with like a leech like mouth just like grabbed on, like leached onto a chunk of the flooring. And you can see this like sizzling smoke as like some acid burns away through the flooring, and the snake just like drops through the hole. And you see another one does this, another spot, and another one does this. They are crawling around the ship, spreading out, and then just consuming it, burning their way through the actual structure of this ship. And you can imagine as they plop down one deck, then another, and another. Eventually, they're just going to like spill out the bottom of this thing. And you don't know how airships work, but you think that given enough holes and like damage to the ship, the whole ship could come crashing down out of the air. And if you land on water, you certainly won't float. And if you land on land, you're probably going to crash and burn. There is a very real threat to this vessel as these creatures start spreading forth, and like little organic snake mines start like eating away at the ship, damaging it.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, what exactly is holding this ship up? Have we seen anything? Is it like big balloons, or is it just
Yeah,
the ship?
you have felt you guys are familiar with this sort of at least like the idea of this sort of technology, even if you haven't seen it before. Um, it's some sort of Zephyr engine. You guys, out of character, might have noticed that this game is taking place in a strangely different version or time.
I did notice that.
This is Shippy.
He didn't know what the Maw was, and they don't know what my city is.
Yeah. And you are you launched from a city called Scofia Scar, which you guys have been to Scofia. This like there was like this whole like Venice canal city that like extended out into the bay and out into the ocean that was all part of this city. And out of character, this like great fountain which was the site of this like ritualistic festival is the site of the Maw.
There was no moon.
And Rotha is right now, as has been for if not all your lives, much of your lives, a stationary and permanent orb in the sky, far, far above the Earth, but a captured moon. And you guys right now are living in the golden era. The gods have left. The immediate collapse and ruin of civilization in the wake of their present, in the wake of their absence, has largely been, to some extent, like dealt with. And once again, 100 years have passed since the last great, like, prime evil entity that, like, was like one of the things that, like, the gods battled against and stuff. Mortal kind has locked that away, did what the gods could never do. Like, you guys are living in the golden era of mankind or mortal kind. And the like feats of the sorcerer kings, like recapturing ancient technology and putting it to use again, like this vessel, the Infinite Dawn, such a perfect example. A ship that can sail as easily on the water as it can the air, an astonishing feat of arcanum engineering, but ultimately somewhat commonplace in this ancient era.
Oh God, is this Shippy's real name, and we can never talk about it because it's in like some one shot?
this, this ship is so much bigger than Shippy.
Oh, it
Like,
is okay.
Shippy's like this, like, like small, like freighter fighter sort of like vessel. This thing is like a fucking cruise ship.
It's the Titanic of shippies. Because it's about to go down. Fuck these snakes. Shoot them.
It is 9 o'clock. This one shot I think might be becoming a two shot if we want to end it with any like reasonable pace.
I'm happy with that.
But we could also wrap it up in half an hour if we really wanted to. Either way is fine with me. In either case, you hear amidst the screaming of like people like yelling about like the snakes having gotten loose, and like, oh, like somebody's like yelling, oh, snake ate my baby, like all these like sorts of screams and chaos going on up there. You hear the voice of Captain Zendo Wingen like crying out like, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on my motherfucking airship.
You did it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Mark. You nailed it.
It's so good.
Yeah, so we'll end it there with these pseudo snakes being unleashed upon aboard the vessel, even while this distraction of, you know, poor or possibly villainous Alphonse Festrius has lost control of his biosphere aboard the vessel. And these two mysterious figures down here having released the pseudo snakes and having what purpose, you're not sure at this point, I think.
I have one final question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is Hot Boy Senior on this boat somewhere?
Like Hot Boy, like great grandpa, maybe.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
No Hot Boy Candle Senior. It's like
Aw.
an ancient ancestor of Hot Boy Candle.